Next up, we're going to have Herb McFaull. Please come up here. Herb is going to talk about Remai Modern and what it will do for Saskatoon. Is that correct? Go ahead.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's nice to be here with you. Thanks for having me out. I got to tell you, this is a first for me. It's the first time I'm drinking a beer while making this presentation. So this is a great place to be. So thanks for allowing me to be with you. I'm a volunteer. I'm not an artist. So unlike all these other great talented people and the talented people that are in this room, you guys do amazing stuff here with software stuff I'm way too old to understand, so just bear with me. But I am a volunteer with the new Remai Modern Art Gallery that was just mentioned in the last presentation. And so I just wanted to spend 10 minutes just tell you a little bit about the new building. You've seen it on the riverbank. It's going to be an amazing facility, and I've got some talented people that put together some great presentation material here. So if we could hit that video just to start, please. Thanks.
The Remai Modern is becoming a place that will celebrate our culture.
I can't wait to bring my kids to a giant, bright gallery full of amazing art.
The Remai Modern is perfectly situated in place and time.
I think really this is going to be a go-to location on our riverbank for seasons.
I think it would be really cool looking at a beautiful piece of art and then looking out the window and seeing the Saskatchewan River.
A really key central social gathering point for the city.
A center for learning in Saskatoon.
The chance to explore and just to see new ideas.
Every great community deserves a great museum.
We have a Picasso gallery. That's insane.
Arts and culture make your community stronger. Every time we increase the strength of our arts and culture, we increase the strength of our community.
There's no question. This will be a world-class facility.
I mean, we're all happy to be in this vibrant city. It's really growing. I call this Saskatoon 2.0, and I can't imagine a better representation of Saskatoon 2.0 than having you all here in this room. And I really think the Remai Modern is going to become a focal point on the riverbank for great art, for great gatherings, for great social, for great learning, for education. And I'm just excited to be part of it. Will advance. Oh, this moves. This is very cool. So we know that the riverbank, do you know that they've got the stats that 360,000 people walk up and down River Landing every year? And again, we just really think that the Remai Modern will become a focal point right there, part of the Riversdale community, and will make a real difference in terms of a gathering point. This doesn't move. This is our architect. He's from Toronto. He's an award-winning architect, Bruce Kubara, and he got the contract to build it. And you can see what an unusual building it is with those horizontal lines. And I'm not going to play his video because there isn't time, but this is so cool. This was his first rendering from across the river in 2010 when he thought he was going to get the job. And this is what he drew. And he just thought, I've met him once, and he said, I was trying to get the sense of prairie, these horizontal lines, the river, the riverbank, the street, the city, and he came up with this really wide building. You know where the building is, right? Like, we're all on the same page? Or yeah, we've seen it as you go over the freeway. And so it's 130,000 square feet of amazing space. That's 5 times the size of the Mendel Art Gallery. This is going to be such a well-used and amazing facility. So I think we'll skip him. He's great, but if I had 20 minutes, I'd walk you through his presentation. So there's a rendering of it. That's what it's going to look like when it's all done. It's starting to look close like that right now, and it's just going to be an amazing piece right on the riverbank. It costs $84 million. So if you're curious, this is boring, but this is how it's being funded. But I think it's important to understand that we've got the city. This is a city-owned building. Nobody understands that. This is not owned by some private board. It's not owned by Ellen Remai. It's owned by you. This is a city-owned facility. And the city, of course, is in for several $1 million, but so is the province, so is the feds. And then I'm trying to raise additional dollars to finish this off. So if you've got any extra money, after we give money to Paved Arts, of course. So now here is this amazing woman, Ellen Remai, who gave us the single largest individual donation in the history of Saskatchewan to make this building possible. She gave us the first $15 million for construction to make it possible. And then she was so smart, she said, yeah, but we've got to make sure this thing runs properly. So she gave a second $15 million at the rate of $500,000 a year for 30 years to make sure that we've got money separate from what the city's going to give us. Anyone here from the city? Yeah, well, they don't give out money too fast. Separate from what the city's going to give us so that we can run special exhibitions and do amazing kinds of stuff. And she had that kind of vision to put that together. So she's why we've named the building the Remai Modern. But we have to go one step further with here, and most people don't know this story. I'll just, maybe we'll go forward one more here if we can. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. You might have heard about this Picasso collection. So Mrs. Remai gave us $30 million, and then she thought about it for a year and thought, we've got to put something in that building that is going to put Saskatoon on the map, that's going to be a remarkable collection. So she went shopping, as she can do. I can't, you can't. And she went to London and she bought the single largest collection of what are called Picasso lino cuts on the planet. There's over 400 pieces in the collection. It's worth over $20 million, and it's ours now. She gave it to us. She gave it to the city of Saskatoon. So we're going to have a dedicated gallery within this Remai Modern exclusively for these lino cuts, and we're already starting to do fun stuff with it. We're going into classrooms right now, showing kids these lino cuts. Do you know what a lino cut is? This is so not software. This is like, you take a piece of linoleum and you take a cutting kind of edge and you start cutting lines into it, and then you run it through a printmaking process. This is what Picasso did very late in his career in France. He went to a special little town because he loved the guy who was a printmaker there. And then they start layering different colors on top of it. And then they cut some more and then they put it through again. So these are not original Picassos, but he had his hand on every one of those to make those prints. Anyway, we went to classrooms and we said to kids, how about you guys take some linoleum, start making some cuts, and you start doing this the way Picasso did. And it was such an amazing experience to watch these kids get into it. And those are the banners that you see up and down 2nd Avenue and 20th Street that are hanging from the lights. They look like little Picassos, but that's what the kids did. Those aren't Picassos. Those are what the kids did. So we're trying to get the community engaged, and I think we're just going to learn a tremendous amount. This is the man she bought the $20 million collection from, and you'll never guess where he was born. Eston, Saskatchewan. Made his fortune in London, became an art dealer, and his #1 favorite thing was Picasso, and he spent 15 years buying this collection. He went to all kinds of shows and just, I'll buy that one, and he created the 400 pieces, and then he put it up for sale. And then she made the connection and he started to say, just a second, you're from where? And you're telling me that you could buy it and this collection would end up in my home province? He was over the moon. So the deal went through, and then he turned around and said, I'm so excited, I'm going to donate a bunch of Picasso ceramics into the collection. So he gave us $500,000 worth of ceramics the other day. So we're just getting started. So I'm talking a lot about the art, which it is amazing, but I just want to spend my last couple of minutes, 1 minute, talking about the fact that this is a multi-purpose facility. Yes, it's an art gallery. Yes, it is. Oh, here we go. This moves too. It's a place for art, a place to learn, a place to connect. The quick summary is there's going to be 11 different galleries, some of them dedicated strictly to the collection. Do you know that we own a $35 million collection, we who live in the city, and they never get to see the light of day. They're in vaults because the Mendel's too small. We're going to have 2 learning studios, classrooms. We're going to have kids bust in. We're having 12,000 kids a year come in and do hands-on art in the facility. We're going to have a convention space that can be rented out. Up to 350 people can sit, and they're going to be right on that 2nd floor with this amazing view of the river. It's going to be you can rent it out. This is a city-owned, this is like Teacup. You can rent it. We're going to have a 150-seat theater that's state-of-the-art audiovisual, going to have lectures, audiovisual. There's a gift shop, there's a restaurant, there's meeting rooms that can be rented out, and amazing outdoor spaces. So my words are, this is being done Saskatoon smart. Yes, it's a 130,000 square foot building, but yes, it's going to house great art, but it's also going to do a whole bunch of other things. So that's why I'm particularly excited about it. This is going to be around for decades, and it's going to serve our community in ways I can't even imagine at this point. So I'm out of time, but we're going to go to the very last slide. I've got a 64-second drone video inside the building about 4 weeks ago. So just enjoy. It gives you a sense of, you're getting a hard hat tour virtually.
I have a question. So I've been driving by the construction for what seems like 3 years. It was a really deep hole. What's down there?
Oh, great question. What's in the hole? Very, very boring and very, very practical. Underground parking. There's going to be 150 stalls of underground parking that actually has nothing to do with the Remai Modern. That is completely a separate city-run entity. And anybody can park there. It's, you don't have to be coming to the Remai Modern. The other cool part you may not know is there's going to be a link between Persephone Theater and the Remai Modern that you don't have to go outside. So you could park, you could come up the elevator, have dinner in our restaurant, go to Persephone, and you can leave your coat in the car. That kind of stuff is going to be possible.
Ping, ping. So a question about your exterior renderings. I had assumed that the exterior of the building would be all that beautiful modern glass we've been seeing, but it looks like there's some other materials going on there. Can you tell us what we were seeing there?
Yeah, great question, and I'm certainly not an engineer or an architect, but there is beautiful glass that you've seen there, but there's also a mesh that's going to go on. It's sort of a steel, that's not the right language, mesh that will hang on the front of the building about 4 feet in front of the glass. And it's a question of temperature, sunshine. So they want the open feeling, but we've got to protect the art at the same time. So there's going to be a mesh that you don't see right now, but it's going to be put on later. Good question. Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you very much.